Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the Boost on Medium.com. I'm going to cover what it is, why you want it, and how to go about getting it. Okay, so the Boost, what is it? The Boost is a new program for Medium to help really recognize some of the best writing on the platform, and they're looking for the highest quality articles to push out to a large amount of people. So what it does when you get boosted, instead of your story going out just to your followers and the publication followers, they're going to push it out to more of Medium. They're going to give it generally at least 500 views, although it can go up significantly more than that. A lot of them get to 1,000 plus. I've seen one that got to 100,000, although I've only seen one that got to 100,000. So the Boost gets your writing beyond just your audience of followers, and it gets it out to more people. It's Medium really giving it the nod and saying like, yeah, this is good. We want more people to see this. So it helps you grow your followers and be read by more people. And now with the new changes coming to Medium in terms of how they calculate earnings for articles, there's going to be something called a boost multiplier. When one of your stories gets boosted, it's going to make more money than a story that hasn't been boosted. So you're getting more views, you're going out to more people, you have the opportunity to build your audience by gaining more followers. And then on top of all of that, you can make more money with it as well. So if that's not a reason to get boosted, then I don't know what is. If you're wondering, Robin, have you gotten the Boost? I have not. Part of this video is going to be a don't do what I do approach, because I write in a way that's not going to get boosted. It works for me, and I personally don't care if I get boosted or not because I'm too swaggy for them anyway. But I don't recommend taking my approach. I would recommend trying to get boosted if at all possible, because you're going to get seen by more people. So I guess that means my first tip is don't do what I do, which is use words like twat waffle and cuntopotamus, and I say fuck a lot, or rather I write fuck a lot. So don't curse and that sort of thing. Also, what they call meta articles, which are articles about Medium, aren't eligible. So that's another reason why I don't get boosted. But again, I don't care, but I do recommend, especially for new writers who are completely eligible for the Boost, and I see new writers getting boosted all the time, which is absolutely amazing. And that is such a great way to make a home for yourself on the platform, because it opens you up to so many readers who would not have found your writing before. So now, how do you get boosted? Because it's a human curation process. You can't just send the Boost committee nudes. I tried. You do have to be curated by them, and it is a human process. It is hand selected by the boosters at Medium themselves, people who are on the team of people who are putting articles into this Boost program. And then also the nominators, they're called nommers. Kind of like that, nom nom. These are people who run publications that are already reading a lot of great content for their publications, and they pick the creme de la creme, according to Medium standards, to get boosted. So what are these boosters and nominators looking for in a boosted story? They have their own published guidelines on what gets boosted. In my opinion, they're vague as fuck, but I will go over them and you'll see why I say that. So the actual guidelines they put out is that it needs to be constructive, which is kind of vague. So it needs to be constructive, and I think what they kind of get by this is that it's helpful for the audience in one way or another. So that could be, a life lesson or technology tips, something that's going to make it really constructive for the reader in terms of applying it to their lives. Another one is original. They're not going to nominate something that's been written 10,000 times unless you just did a real bang up better job than nobody's ever done before. So you want to make it something unique and not overdone. So for example, if you read a story called, 5 Ways to Meditate, I think I've seen that story 100 times at least, and that's not even looking for it. So if you write something really generic, they're not going to find that original. So you want to make something that is more unique. So another one they're looking for is relevant experience. This one can be a bit of a clusterfuck for some people because not everybody is super experienced in what they're writing about. So for example, if you're looking at, writing an article on psychology, they're going to pick somebody who has a degree in it, has, a working psychologist. Have you been in therapy yourself for 2 decades? But they want relevant experience, not just something that you researched on Wikipedia or the internet. So another one is well-crafted. Well-crafted is kind of hard to define, but they want a story that's well-written. They don't want it going off on every tangent here and there. They want it to stay to the point. They want it to be effective communicating. They also want it to be written in an interesting, intriguing way that the readers are going to find fun to read or interesting to read. And the last one is memorable. So is this an article that they're going to remember a day from now, a week from now, a year from now? They're really looking for something that stands out and that you can think like, oh yeah, I saw that on medium.com. So they're looking for something that's unique, interesting, and that people are going to remember later on. How do you write for this? I don't know. These are vague. They really are, which is why I'm going to give you the tips that I've sort of come across. Okay, so those descriptions were pretty vague. That's been one of the biggest complaints about the Boost guidelines so far. But I have talked to a lot of people who are nominators and gotten sort of some of the most common things that they find would kind of disqualify a story. Maybe not disqualify, but make it less likely to get boosted. And those things are spelling and grammar. So before you publish something, run it through Grammarly or Hemingway to make sure that it's catching some of the grammar and spelling mistakes that you missed. And this is something that you should be doing for everything you write anyways. Another thing they're looking for is formatting. They want the page to look nice. They want some nice images in there. They want paragraphs that aren't, this long, because it's hard to read, and it's really hard to read on mobile. They want subheadings of some of the different points that you're using to kind of break up the text, and they just overall want it to look nice. So if you just kind of poke around at, some of the better known names on the platform, you can kind of get an idea of the formatting that's popular, which is reasonably short paragraphs, subheadings. You want to have a title, you want to have a subtitle, and you want those to use the medium formatting. You want to have images, and ideally those contribute to the story, and those images need to be properly sourced. So you can't use copyrighted images, and you shouldn't be doing this on Medium anyway, but it's really not likely to get boosted if you're using a copyrighted image. So go to Unsplash, Pexels, all of the different free repository of images that you're legally allowed to use, because that's going to help you. Another thing the boosters have told me is that they're less likely to boost something if it's got a bunch of spammy links in it, self-promotional links that are read all my other stories, or sign up for my referral program, follow me, etc. Follow me on social media. If you have all of these links that are self-promotional, they don't want to push that out to a bunch of people because it just looks spammy. Now, if you use links to articles that support your article and argument, that's perfectly fine, and they encourage that. You do want to have supporting arguments, especially if you're talking about statistics or anything that you really should be referencing a source for. And then a final tip I've gotten from the nominators, friends of mine, is that the Medium is really looking for personal stories to boost. So they want something that's really personal and important to you, and they want to see you in the writing, because that's sort of how you can get around the expert qualification that it needs to be relevant experience. If there's anything you're an expert in, it's you. So your personal stories help build. Now, the whole article can either be a personal story, or you can just back up some of your thoughts and ideas with personal stories of yours. So for example, if you're writing an article about, ways to improve your meditation, you want to add in little anecdotes from your life that have helped you. That's going to really help personalize the story and give it more meat. and give it more meat and depth. Now I've got some personal tips for you that I've come across by talking to nominators and being in Discord and Slack groups with them, and really just kind of looking through tons of different boosted articles to see sort of different formulas that pop out. So here's sort of what I've noticed. The first thing is they like wordy. I'm not a fan of being wordy myself, but they really love descriptive words and describing just every goddamn last detail. Some people like it, and I know it's nuanced and it adds to the story, so they seem to like really, really descriptive things. There's no rule for how long a boosted post has to be, but I do see that a large majority of them seem to fall within about 5 to 6 minutes, which I think is a good period of time to get your ideas and your stories and your thoughts out, and can still be a little bit wordy, but isn't too full of fluff. Now, that's not to say that a shorter story can't get boosted. That happens all the time. A longer story can be boosted as well. I think for the longer stories, there has to be a point of it being longer. If you're just fluffing it up with whatever you can think of, that's not going to get it boosted. But if you have real, genuine elements to add to it that are important, then you can make it longer, and that doesn't disqualify it. But a lot of the posts I see are 5 to 6 minutes, so take that for what it's worth. So Medium's Boost program is new, and while they're looking to roll out to a lot more topics, at the moment they only have coverage in certain areas. So for the moment, certain topics are getting boosted more than others, and that is memoirs, artificial intelligence, LGBTQ stuff, photography, personal stories, social justice, aging, women, stories about writing, personal development and self-improvement as well, and spirituality and religion. So if you write in these topics, for the moment, that's more likely to get boosted than if you don't. Now, another way to get boosted is to be on the radar of the people who are looking for stories to boost. Makes sense, right? Now, how do you do that? The best way to do it is to publish in the publications that have the boosting powers. And right now, there's only about 60 something people that have that power. So you kind of want to be in their publications, and I'll include a list of the ones that I'm aware of, because some of this is done in secret and some of them have said, yeah, we have the boosting power. So I'll include a link to the ones that I'm aware of already. I know about 40 of them. So if you write for these publications, you are much more likely to get boosted than if you don't. Now, another way to do it is to get on the radar of somebody who has the nomination powers, the boosting powers. In that same link that I included below, there's a list of the people. So if you can get on their radar, that's great. So, start commenting on their articles, writing for their publications. The better they get to know your name, the more likely they're probably going to boost you. And that's not, any type of secret conspiracy thing. They're not just nominating their friends, but it's harder to nominate people who you've never heard of and you have to randomly find. All right, so that's it. If you write for the publications that have the boosting power, link below, and you write things that are, spelt right and grammatically correct, and have nice formatting, have properly sourced images, contain personal story elements, don't have a bunch of spammy links in them, but do have supported fact links in them. Things that are nuanced, as they say, which I consider very verbose and wordy, but and if you read in the topics that they're really covering right now, AI, LGBTQ, memoirs, personal stories, aging, religion, spirituality, personal development, self-help, social justice, that sort of thing. And get on boosters' radar any way that you can, and just write something that's really unique and interesting, and that 1,000 people haven't written about before. You're a lot more likely to get boosted, and you want to get boosted, especially as a new writer. That is such a great way to make it on this platform, because not only is it someone saying like, I really love your work and I think you did a really great job on this piece, you'll get paid more for the post, you'll grow your follower base, you'll get more views, you'll get more people reading your content, which I think is sort of what every writer wants. Like, we want more people reading our stuff, and we want people to think it's great. And a boost is just Medium's way of saying that, hey, this is awesome. Who doesn't like being told they're awesome? Other than me, because I'm a shit disturber. So yeah, I really hope you get boosted, because it is just such a great accolade, and I'm sure it feels great to be recognized and to have more people reading your work. So follow the tips in this video and follow me on Medium, because I'm going to be sharing more updates about the boost as well. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be giving more tips on how to succeed, not only as a writer, but on medium.com. Anywho, I hope that was helpful, and I really hope that you get boosted. So if you can, do it, unless you're like me, and then damn the man. What it can do for you, how to get it, in the words, you want it, and how to I can't get anything out today. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Hi, dogs. What else can I say? What else can I say? And other things as well. Other things. You can tell them what things. And blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. That's all, folks.